Publius Virgilius Marin, often nicknamed Virgil, was an ancient Roman poet. His poems have always been read and considered most praiseworthy, linking the founding of Roman culture to the Trojan War, describing one of the most tragic romances ever written, explaining the fundamental source of Roman conflict with Carthage. In this video, you may learn details about one of the books in Virgil's eternal renown epic, the Aeneid. Book 4, Love and Betrayal. This book begins with the lines,
"But anxious cares already seized the queen. She fed within her veins a flame unseen. The hero's valor, acts, and birth inspire her soul with love and stoke her secret fire."
The hero is Aeneas. The acts are the manner he led the escape from Troy and how he seeks a new hope for his people. It is the queen of Carthage, Dido, that has these feelings. It must be remembered, unbeknownst to her, by Venus' instructions, Cupid took part in seeding her emotions. Feeling this way, the queen seeks the counsel of her younger sister, Anna. She explains to her that she had vowed, after the pain that resulted from her previous love, to never love again. What is more, she is uncertain on whether it would be appropriate to abandon the vows to her now deceased husband. Yet, her sister insists that she move past the prior pains, that she has a duty to her people to produce a noble child to bequest her power to. In the end, the princess tells the queen to continue as she is, to bide her time and wait for a favorable occasion to actualize her passion. Virgil takes the opportunity to describe a religious offering that the two women make for the fulfillment of the queen's love. I found this noteworthy as such descriptions must be very useful material to any cultural historian. Unfortunately, I will not describe it. Instead, know that the poet provides many details on such things. Truly, his writing is a great cultural record. Subsequently, Dido guides Aeneas across town, tempting him to stay and make a home. Jocularly, she asks him time and time again to redescribe his feats and adventures. In the meantime, however, because she is so distracted, all new construction of the city ceases. Remember, Carthage is a new town that Dido has only recently founded. The pause in the town's construction reveals to Hera, Zeus' jealous wife, that Venus has intervened. The poet describes how the goddess of marriage approaches the goddess of love and says to her,
"High praises, endless honors, you have won, and mighty trophies, with your worthy son. Two gods a silly woman have undone. Your Trojan with my Tyrian let us join. So, Dido shall be yours, Aeneas mine. One common kingdom, one united line. Elissa shall a Dardan lord obey, and lofty Carthage for a dowry convey."
Venus responds joyfully. However, she warns that Zeus may interfere. After all, the king of the gods intends for Aeneas to settle Rome, and he wishes Rome to rule the whole world. Nonetheless, the two goddesses concoct a plan. They figure that while the two mortals are out in the countryside, Hera will bring a rainstorm that will force them to take cover in a secluded cave. Here in Venus will have prepared their nuptial bed. No doubt, things occur as the goddesses will. I should note, previous to the storm, the two, along with a party of people, were in an animal chase or hunt. The writer extensively describes, which I also reckon is a valuable piece of cultural trivia. Either way, it is jocular as, when they hide in the cave appointed to them by the divinities, the poet sings,
"Then first the trembling earth the signal gave, and flashing fire enlighten all the cave. From this ill-omened hour in time arose debate and death, and all succeeding woes."
Yes, alas, in the midst of such bliss there is the foreboding of a doom. The earth shakes. Curiously, there are several references to the idea of shame, that it is shameful for the queen to have such relations without marriage. Included is found a very philosophical and poetic description of gossip, how rumor grows and moves exponentially and unseen, how hearsay often mixes falsehood into the truth. By scandals, unseen powers, news reaches as far as Tyre, the home city of Carthage. Herein the man that Dido avoided, the murderer of her former husband, hears the news and is enraged by it. He cannot believe that the princess, now queen, would flee from him and instead join with a refugee that has no home at all. It is through the tyrant's curses that Zeus learns what has occurred. He looks down and verifies. As Aphrodite predicted, he is very angry. The king of the gods sends Mercury, his trusted messenger, to instruct, to oblige, to force the Trojan hero to abscond from his newfound love. The divine herald can do this because he has the power of the word. The mere sound of his voice changes mortals' opinions. I wish I had that power. I find curious how much of Mercury's flight is described, rather scenic. It includes a metamorphosis, but I find it irrelevant. Eventually, he tells Aeneas,
"Degenerated man, thou woman's property, what makest thou here? These foreign walls and Tyrian towers to rear, forgetful of thy own? What means thy lingering in the Libyan land? Your duty lies in benefiting your youthful heir. The promised crown let young Aeneas wear, to whom the Ausonian scepter and the state of Rome's imperial name is owed by fate."
Aeneas is distraught. He cannot avoid the instructions but pains to leave Dido. He concludes that he must leave in secrecy. I think this is rather cowardly. The hero should not flee in this manner. Regardless, despite his efforts.
Soon the queen perceives the thin disguise. What arts can blind a jealous woman's eyes?
She confronts Aeneas and the Trojan admits his intentions. She falls into a tirade of fury. She describes how much she loves him. She complains of how she has now damaged her name by being with him. Likewise, how he is not even leaving her with a future child. She is not yet pregnant. She will not have anything to console her loss. Jocularly, Aeneas defends himself, claiming it is divinity's will. I wonder, how many have tried such a defense throughout human history? As should be expected, this explanation only further enrages the queen. She says,
"False as thou art, and, more than false, forsworn. Not sprung from noble blood, nor goddess born, but hewn from hardened entrails of a rock. Justice is fled, and truth is now no more. I saved the shipwrecked exile on my shore. With needful food, his hungry Trojans fed. I took the traitor to my throne and bed. I rave, I rave. A god's command he pleads, and makes heaven accessory to his deeds."
In the end, she tells him to part as he wishes, but curses him and wishes him the worse. The poet describes how all the Trojans set to work preparing to sail. In the meantime, Dido continues to be distraught and most depressed. At one point, she sends her sister to beg him to stay a little longer, but once again Aeneas refuses. Therefore, most tragically, the heartbroken queen decides on death. She concludes that she must keep her intentions secret. She pretends that she wishes to arrange a most powerful magical artifice. She claims that she may, with magic, regain the hero's heart. However, all she wishes is a dramatic stage in which she may kill herself. I should not underemphasize these passages. At one point, her psychological condition is compared with that of other mythic heroes. She sees visions and suffers a great malady. Eventually, on one lonely night, she asks herself,
"Shall I with this ungrateful Trojan go? Forsake an empire, and attend a foe? Himself I refuged, and his train relieved. It is true, but am I sure to be received? What force have I, but those whom scarce before I drew reluctantly from their native shore? Will they again embark at my desire? Once more sustain the seas, and quit their second tire? Had I continued free, and still my own, avoiding love, I had not found despair, but shared with savage beasts the common air. Like them, a lonely life I might have led, not mourned the living, nor disturbed the dead."
Yes, thus are her thoughts. Concluding that she cannot leave with him, and likewise that she cannot make him stay, she regrets love and continues to plan her own death. In the meantime, During the same night as the prior, Mercury once again speaks to Aeneas and warns him that he best leave at once, in the middle of the darkness. The reasoning being that the queen's pain may turn to violent vengeance. The Trojan does as he was indicated, and when the sun rises per Dido, seeing their ships gone, pains more than ever. At one moment, indeed, she speaks of sending ships against them. Briefly, she wishes to kill all the refugees. Yet, in the end, the most as if historically significant of her vengeful declarations is spoken.
Now, and from hence, in every future age, let memory strengthen and supply the rage. Our arms, our seas, our shores, opposed to theirs, and the same hate ever nurtured by all our heirs.
If you did not know, Carthage was the most historically epic enemy of Rome. According to this mythic poem, the enmity arose from broken love. Yes, alas, the strongest hate arises from love. The religious ceremony she had prepared is arranged. To the surprise of all, let me skip the details. It ends with her driving Aeneas' sword into her breast. All the attendants panic, the whole city laments. Her sister is most distraught. The whole is most tragic. Curiously, her death is not instantaneous. She pains and suffers until Hera, the goddess, intervenes and puts her at ease. I should quote her sister as she says,
"One sword had served us both, one common tomb. At once thou hast destroyed thyself and me, thy town, thy senate, and thy colony."
As a common practice, Anna cuts a lock of her sister's hair while she lays her corpse to rest. Believe it or not, the Aeneid doesn't end here. Aeneas has to travel to the underworld and the Trojan refugees have to survive an attack by the natives of Italy. Don't miss it. Also, on this channel you may find a summary of Christopher Marlowe's theater play titled Dido, the Queen of Carthage.
Loving the past or hoping the future are each to resign living the present.
Suicide is found by either resigning love of self or of all besides.
If you enjoy or gain from my aphorisms, know that I have thousands. I will be writing books with short thematic essays composed out of aphorisms. These essays are profound and intriguing yet easy to read. For very cheap copies, look up Protagoras Pause in the Amazon website. I repeat, Protagoras Pause, that's my name.